Hi everyone, my name is Hunter Monroe. I'm doing chapter 11, which is people, service, and service quality. How do we get there? To me, this chapter was really important because the service industry is all about people and the people that work in it. We're here to take care of people as well as we enjoy what we do for the most part, so I think this is a very important chapter for marketing. So the question I'm going to be covering in this presentation is question 1 from chapter 11. You have been hired by a hotel, restaurant, travel agency, airline, or other hospitality and travel organization with a reputation for below average service. Your task is to significantly upgrade the service orientation and service quality of supervisors and other staff members. What steps would you follow in satisfying this objective? Draw examples of successful organizations in the hospitality and travel industry. Try to come up with 2 or more creative ideas of your own. So the first, I kind of just wanted to start with a background of what we're looking to achieve in hospitality. And for us, it is a guest experience. We ultimately want to create a great guest experience for our customers. The first thing the book talked about was customer satisfaction. And this was saying that after consuming a product or service, customers are either satisfied or dissatisfied. But the problem with customer satisfaction is you don't find out till after they have consumed the product or service. What we're ultimately aiming for is customer delight, where a customer feels that their service went above and beyond, the product they paid for was great, everything went well. The next slide I have is perceptions minus expectations equal quality. So if you're in a business, or say you go into a restaurant and your expectation is a very nice restaurant with great service, nice atmosphere, great ambiance, and your perception once you go in is a little different. Maybe the server wasn't so nice, or the waitress didn't remember your order, or your food came back incorrectly. That ultimately leads to the quality of service you received. Some general information about hospitality and mostly marketing to people is that the real foundation of hospitality's success and survival are the people it employs and the people it serves. Meaning that the key to making money in hospitality is to employ great people who want to work and want to serve people. It also helps to have great customers. Once you can build a great customer base, everything goes on from there. Next is that word-of-mouth marketing is the best way to get new customers. In the article from Forbes that I found, it stated that 62% of general managers understood that word-of-mouth marketing is the most powerful, but only 6% have perfected it, as in they've perfected a way to market great word-of-mouth. The next thing is to know that poor customer service can ruin a guest trip. It can absolutely destroy it. No amount of facilities or anything can make up for it. It's not to say that a great service will make up for a lousy time, but it definitely helps. And if you provide poor service, people definitely remember that more. There's a fact that they state that 1 in 3 people will hear about your great customer service experience, where you'll tell ultimately 10 people for the 1 bad experience you have. So that's a 10-to-1 ratio, meaning that if you have bad experience, you're going to tell more people, which is bad marketing for you as a whole. So really what I would start with to change my organization is the service orientation. Really what it means is that's your company's goal, like that's the morals of your company, what you want to do, how you want to change, who you want to market to, what type of product you want to offer, how you want to offer the product. So I think this would be the first step in changing my service in my hotel that I'm taking over. This is just a slide to kind of demonstrate how it is really difficult in the service industry. It takes persistence. You're going to fail. People don't necessarily see all the hard work that goes into creating a nice wedding or having a nice stay for people. It takes a lot of work. And a lot of people, all they see is the tip of the iceberg, the success. And for most people, that's not what happens. It's very difficult to get this far. So I wanted to focus mostly on my employees. I thought that would be the best way to control customer service. I know it's the most powerful tool we have as managers to create a better business and better service. So some of the factors that go into creating great employees is how you recruit them, how you select them, or how you orientate them to your company, telling them the goals and everything, training, motivation, reward, retaining great employees, and then overall empowering them to do a great job. So the 5 parts of managing internal customers, which are your employees. Number 1 is going to be staff recruitment, selection, and training. In the hospitality industry as a whole, it is very difficult to find the correct people to fill the jobs. Many people, if you've heard the quote, just don't have it. It takes a certain type of attitude, a certain type of willingness to work with people to get into this industry. And for most hotels and HR departments, it can be very difficult to hire the correct people. Some of the things they look for are past experience. That's one big thing. If you can find someone who's had previous hotel or restaurant experience, that helps very much so. Some of the other things they look for are whether the person's an introvert or an extrovert. When they meet them in person, they kind of judge the way they feel. I think a great attitude is a big deal. If someone is not so social but is willing to work hard and shows you that they want to change and do better, I think that ultimately helps a lot. The second step after you've gained your employees is going to be motivating and retaining your staff. So this is things like adding employee incentive programs, training them. Sorry, excuse me real quick. There, my dog was bugging me. So as motivating and retaining staff, this is going to be maintaining your employees. So having a constant newsletter, telling them what's going on, constantly communicating with them, engaging with them, making sure they understand what you expect of them as your employee, the things they can do to help customers, using management and supervisory staff to be open and honest with them, telling them if they messed up or the things they're doing very well. I believe this is a pretty important part because it can be really difficult to maintain a staff in hospitality. The turnover in this industry is very big. The next slide, I think, is the most important when it comes to your employees, and that's empowering your staff. This really means giving your staff the tools to do their job, allowing them to have the confidence to make decisions and make choices and not think that they're going to have repercussions come from a choice they made or an idea they gave somebody. I think it's very important to make sure your employees know when they've done a good job as well as when they've done a poor job. I believe fully in coaching as you go. Like, it's never a set in stone process. There's always different things. The hospitality industry is always changing as a whole. So I think it's very important to empower your guests, or your employees, so they can satisfy your guests. The fourth step, which I think is also important, is staff behavior, appearance, and uniforms. As you can see from the slide, I took a homeless man who was really rugged and not so good looking, and they turned him into CEO businessman. And you can see, the gentleman on the left you might not want to walk up to in a public place, where the gentleman on the right you may ask for advice or you may get out of his way. I think behavior and appearance are a very big part of the service industry. It's very important to look your best and perform your best. I think clean uniforms help a lot with establishing positions, especially in a hotel. It can be kind of difficult to see what department someone's working in unless they have different types of uniforms. The fifth and final step would be the internal marketing programs. So this is pretty much just communicating with your staff, making sure they know the big in and outs, the big parties that are coming in, whether they have a lot of check-ins, a lot of checkouts. I think this also works with interdepartment connections where other departments work together to receive a common goal. I think this is a pretty big deal. I think managers need to do a good job of communicating to their understaff and making sure they understand when they're doing a good job and things they can do to do a better job. And like I said, it's an always changing environment, so you can always improve. There's something to always work on. And then I wanted to show you guys just a short video from the Wendy's CEO about his hospitality. And here we go.
Thanks for your business. It's our responsibility to look out for someone else in life. That's the leadership lesson that I think lives with us throughout eternity. My name's Bob Wright. I'm the Executive Vice President and Chief Operations Officer here at Wendy's. Dave Thomas founded Wendy's in 1969 on one simple principle, that quality is our recipe. We have over 6,000 locations in North America and another 400 outside the U.S. and Canada. As the Chief Operations Officer here at Wendy's, I'm responsible for all aspects of restaurant operations for our company restaurants and our franchise restaurants. Our operations vision is to delight every customer, period. Our secret weapon is our people. Our people being their best and bringing their very best to the customer is what really delights people when they come to visit a Wendy's restaurant. There are leadership traits within everyone, and they often just have to be nurtured and brought out. The ultimate test of a great leader is their ability to find the best in someone else and to bring that out. It's one of the great lessons that Dave Thomas taught us here at Wendy's. What would you like to drink, sir? A leader in a food service organization is no different than a political leader, no different than a church leader, no different than a community leader. You have to stay connected at the level where the rubber meets the road. Jamie, how's staffing? I see problems in the restaurants that I don't get to hear about. You find out things that people won't call and tell you about. It's so important for us to be active listeners and to seek out the truth. When I was first starting out as a 19-year-old delivery driver at a Domino's Pizza restaurant in Houston, Texas, I had no idea that I'd still be in the business all these years later and certainly not have the responsibility that I have today. But he's taken this life of this customer and lifted it up to a whole other level. Every chance I've had to take on a new opportunity or a new challenge, I've welcomed it and tried to take the opportunity to make the most out of it. I took the time years ago to write down what I believed were the three most important core values for me. Number one is faith. Number two is freedom. And number three is integrity. When I think about success, though, am I successful? The real question is, am I living out those three core values? I'd like for you to accept that, if you would, please. The most important thing we all can do in life is be excellent in what we're challenged to do today. And by doing that, we're learning, we're growing, we have the chance to help others learn and grow, and we will be given the next opportunity if that opportunity was right for us when the time comes along. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So as you can see from that video, your people are your key to everything. That's the key to hospitality. Like he was saying, his people are the secret. I believe that to be so. I think it's very, very important to empower your people. And let me get to my last couple slides here. And then the final thing you got to do is you got to measure how you're doing. And the quote from the book says, the only way to measure success of a hospitality company is one customer at a time. And to me, that's very true. You want to focus on building long-term value with guests. You want them to come back, use your product repeatedly. You know, you want them to come back. You want them to spend money, and the only way you're going to know if you're doing well is to measure surveys, do quality management surveys, send them to your guests, give them to your employees, see if they enjoy working. Some of my two kind of unique ideas to bring to the hospitality industry, especially to this hotel